Have you ever wondered why you still feel that tightness holding you back, even when everything around you seems calm? What if I told you that this weight is no longer yours? Perhaps you continue to carry a burden that only exists because no one has seen who you truly are. You have become accustomed to being strong, available, indispensable, but invisible. Without realizing it, something inside you has already begun to whisper, "You don't live here anymore." Imagine an old house, full of objects that hold stories that are no longer yours. You walk around the rooms, go about your tasks, smile and photos, answer, "Everything's fine." But inside, the echo responds, "You're not." What if this discomfort wasn't punishment? What if it were just the last breath of a role you've played for too long? Carl Jung would say that this pain is dead skin, a silent reminder that something new wants to be born. Maybe that's why you're exhausted from giving everything and receiving silence. Maybe, deep down, you already know you no longer belong to this weight. Now what? Will you continue to cling to what no longer serves you? Or will you start walking toward what truly calls you? On the outside, everything seems normal. You wake up, go to work, send audio messages, make jokes. On the inside, a dense emptiness fills every corner. It's not a scream, it's a silent exhaustion, as if something is begging to be heard. You've gotten used to being the support, to avoiding conflict, to smiling to keep the peace. Little by little, you forgot who you were before you became useful, surrounded by people, but completely alone. Everything's fine is another step away from yourself. Every thank you sounds hollow because it never touches where it really hurts. You're not just tired of living. You're tired of living far from your essence, of repeating old emotional stories you inherited, of carrying roles that were given to you before you knew how to say no. Maybe this weakness isn't a flaw. Maybe it's your soul whispering, "Enough is enough." Maybe it's not the end, but the silent beginning of a return to what has always been yours. If something in you recognizes itself here, write in the comments, "I am coming back to myself." Put it down in writing, not for me, but as an intimate commitment to who you really are. Carl Jung did not see pain as a mistake. For him, it was a radical invitation to return to your center. Pain does not arise to punish you, but to show you the gap between who you are and who you have learned to be. You think you are lost, but in fact, you are stuck in an old version of yourself that you created in order to be accepted. You have been conditioned to please, to fit in, to be predictable. But this silent tightness is the silent rebellion of your true self. You feel the weight because it no longer fits. You feel exhausted because, deep down, your soul refuses to follow this script anymore. This discomfort is not a flaw. It is the first sign of life of who you have always been. You no longer belong to this pain. This is not a quick fix. It's a call to stop living in the prison you built for yourself. But if all this makes sense, why does your body still scream? If your mind understands, why does your chest still feel heavy? What's stopping you from fighting against yourself and starting to listen to yourself? If this resonates with you, write in the comments, "I'm ready to listen to myself." Perhaps, in writing, you are opening the door that you have been waiting to open. The body holds secrets that the mind never had the courage to tell. The pain in your chest, the lump in your throat, the tingling in your hands. Each symptom is an unread letter. These sensations are not flaws, they are messages. The body does not want to sabotage you. It wants to warn you. You don't have to live in hiding anymore. Every tension is a protest. Every sleepless night is an urgent plea to stop. The body feels what you pretend not to hear. When you smile and feel your jaw tighten, it's saying, "That's not true." When you take a short breath before giving in, it's a warning. You don't want to be here. These signs are not isolated illnesses. They are physical manifestations of a suffocated soul. They are invitations for you to return to the space where you lost yourself. What if, instead of fighting, you started listening? What if you could ask your chest, your back, your trembling hands, "What do you want me to see that I keep ignoring?" What if every pain were a threshold, not a barrier? The body does not punish you. It wants to lead you back. With every squeeze, every blockage, there is a door to a real encounter with yourself. Pain does not prevent you from walking. It is the path. When you can't breathe, it's an invitation to breathe deeply. When fatigue paralyzes you, maybe it's a way of saying, you don't have to fight to be loved anymore. Breathing becomes a ritual of return. Inner silence is not the absence of life, but but its raw presence. The body contains a living memory that has never been corrupted. Maybe it's time to feel without trying to explain, to stop fighting to fit in, to rest in the space that once seemed threatening. You are not broken. You are being called. Your true presence is born when you stop running from pain and go through it. There comes a moment when you realize the old armor has become a prison. The automatic smile cracks. The trained gestures lose their meaning. You see yourself there, but you no longer recognize yourself. The reflection in the mirror looks like someone you invented to survive. The discomfort grows, the ground disappears. Your mind tries to convince you. Come back. At least it was safe. But something deep inside refuses. The old role was a shield, a strategy to be accepted. But today, it has become a prison cell. You feel that going back is betraying the calling that has already begun. Maybe you're not lost. Maybe you're freeing yourself from the fantasy that was suffocating you. That pain? It's not the end. It's the moment when the true author begins to emerge. What if that empty space wasn't a flaw, but the silent womb of a new you? After everything falls apart, silence remains. You no longer know who you are or what you want. The old structure is gone, and the new one has not yet arrived. This emptiness seems endless, frightening. Your mind screams, "Come back." Your old role offers false embraces. But there is something subtle, a spark that refuses to die. You feel that there is something waiting deep down, something you cannot name. Silence is not absence. It is fertile ground, ready for birth. You are not lost. You are gestating a new presence. This not knowing is not weakness. It is raw freedom, living space. Who would you be if you no longer had to carry any old stories? In the middle of this dark field, something small, almost imperceptible, emerges. A longer breath, a movement without guilt, a desire to simply be. The body rejects old charades. The no begins to come out without pain. Silence becomes shelter, not a threat. But be careful. The mind wants to transform even awakening into a character. It wants to create a new spiritual self to show off. Resist. Real presence does not need to be named. It does not want a stage or a medal. It just exists, gentle, whole. You do not yet fully know who you are, but you already feel who you no longer want to be. This piece does not want applause. It just wants space to breathe. Strength is not about enduring everything. Strength is not abandoning yourself. It is remaining whole, even in silence. Now you begin to live without having to prove yourself, without having to fit in. You breathe with space, say no without fear, walk without a script. This strength does not shout. It does not need witnesses. It blossoms when you stop interpreting and return to inhabiting your body. Carl Jung would say, now you live in the essential. You are no longer a function. You are presence. It was not healing. It was remembering. Remembering who you were before you needed to protect yourself. You no longer belong to that pain. It was a shell, a shelter, a defense. But now, it's just old noise. Today, silence has become space. You no longer need to sleep emotionally. You can stay awake, even if it hurts at first. Your presence is your strength. This piece doesn't need to be explained. It just wants to be lived. If something in you has awakened today, write in the comments, I choose to stay awake. Take the opportunity to enjoy the video, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell. That way, you won't lose yourself. And if you feel that this can touch someone, share it. Every gesture counts. Now that you've come this far, stay. All of this only has value if it is lived.